Hi guys, it's Izzy, and yes, it is the same day as my other video. I don't know which I'm putting up first, but it's the same day. And today's video is going to be a haul. I know I said I was going on a book buying ban in 2020, and for the most part, I didn't buy all these books. I got sent quite a few of them, so technically I didn't really break my book buying ban. But I did acquire some books in 2020, so this is just going to be a collective haul for all the books I have acquired during 2020. I'm going to hold them up, but I can't keep holding them up because my arms aren't good enough for that, so you'll just have to remember. I'm sorry, that's just going to be how it is. This is not in chronological order because I do not have that good a memory and therefore cannot remember every book when I got it. So we're just gonna start from the pile. The first book I got was Queen of Coin and Whispers, an arc of it by Helen Corcoran. This is not the official cover, this is like a quote. Yeah, I got sent this arc by O'Brien Press, I think, and it's released or is being released this month. It just says April 2020, that's no help to me. And it is about two women, one who becomes the queen of this place and one who becomes her like spy assassin person. I sadly DNF'd this book the other week. I might pick it up again at some point, but I just found it too boring, so yeah, I didn't continue with that book. I got sent Ramona Blue by Julia Murphy from Emily, which is a short book lover. I'll put her thing on the screen or down below, and she sent me this book which is about Ramona Blue, who lives in a trailer and has to have like 3 different jobs to make money for her family, and she identifies as a lesbian, but when one of her old childhood friends comes into town, she realises that maybe her sexuality is more fluid and she might identify as bisexual or something like that. And it's just basically her trying to like keep her family together and discover who she is. And it's a brilliant book. I gave it 4 stars, full Goodreads review if you want to check it out. It was a great book. I then got I Wish You All the Best by Mason Diva. This is a book I did actually buy because it was on a really good deal and I've wanted it for ages, so I justified it. And that is a book written by a non-binary author, Mason, and they wrote a book about a non-binary teenager who I believe gets kicked out of their house after coming out to their parents, and they have to move in with their sister, and I think there's a romance involved, and they just have to adjust to a new life and a new school and all that. And I've wanted to read it ever since it came out, but I haven't been able to get hold of a copy, and then I finally got hold of a copy, so I'm very excited to finally get around to reading it. Another book that broke my book buying ban was Heartstopper Volume 3. I had pre-ordered it in 2019 though, so was it technically breaking my 2020 book buying ban? Because I bought it in 2019, technically. I'm counting it. Heartstopper is a graphic novel by Alice Oseman, and it is about 2 boys, Nick and Charlie, who become friends in high school and then more than friends, and it's the most heartwarming thing in existence. Read it. It's incredible. I then was sent The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. Again, the people who sent me these books, I'll leave their like Twitter or something on the screen or in the description box below, but someone very kind sent me The Bear and the Nightingale, which is a story I believe about Russian folklore, and it's about this girl who like tells stories but the stories are true. Yeah, she can see like spirits and that kind of stuff, and I'm so excited to read this book. It sounds so whimsical and beautiful, and I know so many people love it, and I'm so excited to get around to it. I was then sent We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia, and this was sent to me by Harper Teen, I think. I'll double check, or like Harper 360, is that what they're called? I can't keep track, but they very kindly sent me that book, which came out in February, and I loved it very much. It's the second book to We Set the Dark on Fire, and I gave it 5 stars. It's incredible. It's set in a universe where women are kind of trained to become wives. You can become a primera or a segunda. A primera is like given to a man to like help with business and the running of things and deal with all the servants and that kind of stuff, and then a segunda is more of a traditional wife. So basically every man is given 2 wives who are like trained to be wives, and there's like a rebellion plot line. It's got a great sapphic romance, one of my absolute favourite sapphic romances, and the second book I gave 5 stars. It blew me away. It was incredible. Read it. It's a duology, so it's completed now, so you have no excuse not to read it. Get on that. I then, of course, bought King of Crows by Libba Bray. Again, I pre-ordered this in 2019, so does it technically count? I don't think so. This is the 4th and final book to my favourite series of all time, The Diviners by Libba Bray, and I can't go into what this book is about because obviously spoilers, but you know, it changed my life, made me sob for like 2 hours, never recovered, love it so much, would die for it. It's incredible, and it's set in 1920s New York and follows a group of teenagers with special abilities as they try and take down a demon thing. It's incredible. If you're new to my channel, I talk about the Diviners all the time, so just go back to any one of my other videos and I'll have talked about it. Don't worry, you'll get some good Diviner content. I was also sent Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee by someone very kind as well. This is part of the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, which Rick Riordan set up for Own Voices authors to write stories about their own like mythical gods and their kind of culture and their gods and spirits and creatures. And yeah, this is to do with Korean folklore, and I think it follows a girl that can turn into a fox, I want to say. And I'm super excited to read this. It sounds like literally my perfect book, and I cannot wait to read it. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be great. I was then sent 4 graphic novels by Penguin Random House, the first one being The Oracle Code by Mariaki Nijkamp and Manuel Praetano, I want to say. I read this book. It's about the origin of Barbara Gordon, who is Oracle, and she is in a wheelchair and she is a hacker and she goes to this place that's full of disabled people. This graphic novel is incredible. Loved it so much. Everyone should read it because it's just incredible. I love it so much. They also sent me Shadow of the Batgirl by Sarah Kuhn, Nicole Gu, and I'm super excited to read this. I'm a big fan of superheroes, so these make me really excited. I also got sent the graphic novel version of Wonder Woman Warbringer, which Leigh Bardugo wrote, and I loved the book, so I'm super excited to read the graphic novel, and it's by Louise Simonson and Kit Seaton. And finally I was sent An Embarrassment of Witches, which is by Sophie Goldstein and Jen Jordan, and is about witches. So those were all very exciting. I loved the Oracle Code and I can't wait to read the rest. I was sent Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik, and this is a retelling of and I can't think of what the name of the retelling thing is. It's the man that like weaves gold and like makes gold. It begins with an R. I'm gonna have to Google it after this video. I'll leave it on the screen because it's gonna drive me crazy because I can't remember. But it is a book I've wanted for ages. I hear it's like very feminist and super magical and really cool, and I'm so excited to read it because it's just been on my radar for so long and it sounds incredible and I'm so excited to read it. If If only I could remember what that man was called, but alas. I was also sent Havenfall by Sarah Holland by another lovely person, and this is a fantasy book that is set in a world where there are like three magical gateways to ancient lands, and it just sounds really cool. I don't know much more than that, but that was enough to sell me, and I read a few Goodreads reviews, and it just sounded so cool, and I just really wanted it because it sounds incredible, and I can't wait to get around to read it. And it's actually quite short, which is unusual for a fantasy, so at least I'll be able to get through it kind of quickly, because the rest of these books are chunky, I swear. Penguin Random House also very kindly sent me House of Dragons by Jessica Cluess. I haven't read this book yet, but it comes out in May, and I'm very excited about it. Put the word dragon in anything, I'm sold already. But then I read the description of this book, and like, literally, was it written for me? Maybe. I'm just going to read you the back of the book because I just can't explain it as good. It says, the emperor is dead, and so the 5 houses of Etrusia must attend the calling where one of their own will be selected to fight for the throne. In this proud dragon empire, the oldest child of each house is always called the golden child, the one who has spent a lifetime preparing to compete in the glorious trial. But this year is different. This year these 5 outcasts will be pitted against one another. The liar, Amelia must hide her terrifying powers or be put to death. The soldier, Lucian is a warrior who has sworn never to lift a sword again. The servant, Vespia is a dragon trainer. Her skills alone will keep her in the game. The thief, Ajax knows that nothing will be handed to him. He must take what he wants. The murderer, Hyperia was born to rule. Nothing and no one will keep her from the throne. Let the battle begin. Like, sorry, yes please. I'm so excited to read that book. I think it's going to be incredible, and I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I then definitely broke my book buying ban by buying A Torch Against the Night and A Reaper at the Gates. These are the second and third books in the Ember in the Ashes series. I had the first one, and I recently reread it, and I recently reread the series via audiobook, realised how much I love the series, and decided that I needed the physical books. So I bought the physical books because my life sucks and I wanted the physical books, okay? Don't judge me. I love them, and I'm very glad to own physical copies of them. The lovely Molly also sent me The Mercies by Kieran Millward Hargrave. This is a book set in 1600s Norway. I think it's Norway. Yeah, Norway. And basically every man in this fishing village dies, and these women have to kind of like come together and figure out how to make this small fishing village run without the men, and you know, have to do all the jobs that the men traditionally did. And then a new man comes to town, and I think there's some like kind of witch trial situation. I believe it's also sapphic, so like I'm in. Sounds incredible. I read like the first 30 pages of it and had to put it down because I had too many NetGalley arcs, but I loved what I read, so I'm super excited to continue reading it when I don't have too many books from NetGalley because I need to read more. Make me read. And I also got 2 books that I forgot to get down, but they are Code Name Verity and Rose Under Fire by Elizabeth Wine, I think. Wine? I don't know. And they are 2 historical fiction books that follow undercover women during World War II, I think. And I've heard nothing but good things about them, and they are always so highly recommended when I watch historical fiction book recommendations, so I'm super excited to get to those as well. I also was sent Paperweight, which I'm super excited about. I'm currently not holding it because I only got it yesterday, and I'm just leaving it 24 hours before touching it because I'm a vulnerable person, can't take any chances. So it's just currently airing, but I'm very grateful for that book because I've wanted it for so long, and I just know I'm absolutely going to love it. I'm so excited to read it. I know it's going to be one of my favourite books. So yeah, I'm super grateful to have received that book too. I think those were all the books that I collected during the first 3.5 months of 2020. I probably missed one or two out because I forgot whether I got them in 2019 or 2020. If I did, sorry, I forgot when I got them. And yeah, turns out I acquired a lot of books. So much for my book buying ban. My poor shelf is it's getting rough for my shelf, that's for sure. My poor bookshelves are so full now. But yeah, I'm so grateful for all the books that were sent to me, and I am so excited to read all of these, or I've read them and loved them. And yeah, I hope I'm not doing another book haul for another 3 months, because I hope I haven't bought that many more books. Well, coronavirus is stopping me receiving ARCs, so I guess that's gonna limit my acquiring of books somewhat, but who knows. So yeah, thank you for watching. I've got too many books. Send help. Thank you so much for watching. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Goodreads. They're all in the description below. I'm very active in all of those places. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're safe and well, and I hope you are doing okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!